This is my second video where I discuss who is Kyle Rittenhouse. Now recently, WSN posted a YouTube video that said, who is Kyle Rittenhouse? But unfortunately, they really didn't tell you much about him. They basically just replayed clips that they had played earlier in the year. So didn't learn much there. But if you want to kind of understand what makes this kid tick, I suggest this series where I'm going to do my best. I don't know Kyle Rittenhouse personally, never met him, and everything I'm going to be using here is just from what I have seen. In the first video, I discussed his impoverished upbringing and how it influenced his psyche, and that is that he wants to be known as a good guy, a community volunteer, and he wants to get credit for it. He wants to establish himself as someone that's important, someone that does great things for the community. And that explains a lot about what we know about him. Why was he there cleaning graffiti at the high school? Well, again, he wants to be seen as a community volunteer, and he wants to be noticed. So he likes to have photographs taken of him. He's going to post those on Facebook and Instagram and get accolades for it. He's 17 years old, and like most 17-year-olds, his self-image has become important. Now, in this video, we're going to answer the question, why is he at the riots? What's he doing there? And how does it explain what took place? Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
In this video, we're actually going to start being able to see Kyle talking. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, why is he at the riots in the first place? That's not a hard question to answer, really. To understand, you have to think of a couple of boys, ages 18 and 17, that would be Kyle and Dominic, sitting watching television and watching the riots unfold in front of them. And they can actually hear some of the rioting taking place outside. Now, keep in mind, Kyle Rittenhouse is a law and order kind of kid. It's Kenosha, late August, it's hot, there's not a lot to do. Kenosha is a relatively small town, about 100,000 people. So there's not a lot of excitement. And these two young kids are hearing all this rioting taking place and watching on television. Naturally, like any 17-year-olds or 18-year-olds, they're going to want to get involved somehow. They either want to go and witness the spectacle or they want to participate. There aren't many teenagers that would try to avoid that. In fact, it's true for adults as well. I would suggest that the majority of the people that were there in the riots weren't there because of any concern about Black Lives Matter or the protests. They're there because it's exciting. It's something to do. Now, any cop will tell you that if you have a relatively quiet street and you have a terrible accident, all of a sudden that street will become a busy thoroughfare as all the adults pile into their cars and drive through to take a look at what's happening. And so this looky-loo kind of thing permeates all of society. It's not just teenagers. So Kyle and Dominic are at home. They hear all this commotion, and naturally, it's exciting. It's something to do. And if only there was a reason why they could go to the riots, and they get one. It turns out that someone is calling for anybody to come and protect private property. Kyle and Dominic have guns, and the idea of going in and protecting property stimulates two things. One, it gives them something to do. They get closer to the action. They get to watch what all these events unfold. It's exciting. And number two, it bolsters Kyle's self-identity as a community volunteer. He gets now to help somebody. Here is a property owner who's been terrorized for all practical purposes by having his cars burned and stuff. He's looking for help. And Kyle feels that need to volunteer. This is community service as far as he is concerned. And so they decide to go to the riots. But there's a problem. Dominique owns a rifle, and he also owns Kyle's rifle. Dominique, in his interview with the police, said it was his rifle, and they were going to, transfer the title over to Kyle once he turned 18. And so they're going to go to Kenosha. to guard private property, and Kyle is naturally going to want a rifle. All of the other kids will have one. It's like a badge. If you're going to be protecting property, you got to have a rifle. You're going to be one of us. And Kyle certainly wants to be one of them. And so he's going to want the rifle with him. There's also the issue of self-protection. It's slightly dangerous work, not really. I mean, to be honest with you, if it hadn't been for Joseph Rosenbaum, nobody would have been hurt that night, at least not as far as the shootings go. But it still kind of warrants some sort of protection, and Kyle is going to use that. So he wants the rifle, and Dominic makes the mistake of his life. He simply doesn't assert himself and tell Kyle, no, you can't have the rifle tonight. You're just going to have to walk around like a minor while we adults do the adult kind of thing, right? And Dominic is right. Kyle would have thrown a fit at that point. He would have really gotten upset. Why can't I have a rifle? I need self-protection. Dominic is just not assertive enough to tell him no. That doesn't make Dominic a bad guy. We're all like that. There are plenty of instances where all of us could have done the right thing, but just didn't have the nerve because we didn't want to let one of our friends down. And so although it was unwise, it was perfectly understandable why Dominic would go ahead and say, okay, you can have the rifle. And I am sure that Kyle told him many times, look, nothing bad's going to happen. It's no big deal. I'm going to walk around with a rifle. We're going to guard the property, and then we'll come home, and then we'll go on Instagram and Facebook and look at all the pictures that we have. And so Dominic is working under this assurance from Kyle that nothing's going to happen. And so they show up at CarSource to guard the property, and they encounter a videographer, a reporter, if you will, who's walking around, and he's going to interview them.
How you guys doing? Good, you guys keeping the peace? You guys at the Kenosha Guard? No? Alright, just catching. Checking on. Right on. Oh, right on.
Now, here's the interesting thing about this, and this is something that would be hard for the anti-Kyles to deny. Kyle is in a good mood. You can tell he's talkative, he's polite, and he's in a good mood. They're not at the riots. They're guarding a property quite a ways away, and they can see sort of the commotion down the road, okay? But they're perfectly content with just sitting there watching what's going on, and I liken this to a bunch of boys watching a 4th of July show. They hear the hollering, they see the little explosions of the tear gas and stuff like that, and the screaming, and this is entertainment. It's something to do. It's a spectacle. And so the demeanor of Kyle Rittenhouse here is rather pleasant. He thinks he's doing good work. He's hanging out with guys that are probably a little older than him. That always appeals to a 17-year-old. And he has something to do. And now he's being interviewed by somebody from the press. And remember another thing about Kyle Rittenhouse. He wants to do good things, but he also wants to get noticed for it. And so he's going to engage this reporter and talk to him.
How's it going up there?
Shit show, day 3.
Okay. What we got up there?
Not as many as yesterday. Yesterday I was like, fuck my life.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like it was going to dissipate, and then I turned around and, I covered 10 of the BLM Milwaukee protests, so I saw the leaders right away, and I knew what was going to happen. And if I didn't know how many people, there's like 3,000 or 4,000 people. Like, if they're that deep, don't even bother, just walk away. There's no winning that.
How many people do you think are fixing to show up?
Well, tonight? I mean, I'm a protester. So I've seen when militia just hold their order and they just stand there. People won't do anything because they're smart. But I don't know what's with this generation, but a lot of them are really fucking dumb. But that's on both sides. I know a lot of boogaloo at boneheads, they should have a gun. Just being honest. So I'm all about supporting the militia and the protection of private property, but I'm also supporting a peaceful protest, but that's not what we have, But,
Now, Kristen Harris mentions a couple of interesting things. He is a BLM protester, but he also supports the protection of private property. And Kyle's sitting there listening to this. And so this reinforces the idea within Kyle that he's doing the right thing. He's doing something good here. He's protecting property. Take a look how far away they are from the action. And at this point, they don't seem to have any interest in going in and getting involved. They're perfectly happy with just watching and listening.
That being said, what was that?
You carrying?
Do I kid? No.
Oh, that's
Okay, just holy armor, my friend. That's all I got. I figured, no, I don't know if he's on my side, but if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And if he wants me to do his work, I'm doing his work. You know, so. Well, I've already, but you guys are a little late. Shit started popping off Tuesday night. So.
You're gonna fall.
Yeah, you know, and don't poke the bear. Try to be respectful. Don't get attention unless you have to, because you don't know who you say the wrong thing to, and then all of a sudden they pull over, and then 4 more cars pull over, and then you have a confrontation you didn't need to have. And your whole goal here is to keep the peace, not make problems. I'm just telling you from experience.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the $2 million damage that happened.
Is that your lot? Is that your lot?
Oh, the owner of the place almost got us out here.
Okay, is he paying you guys to be out here? Or
No.
He just asked?
No,
You asked
in
him?
for medical.
We got a group coming up behind us.
Now notice Ryan, Balch says the owner asked us to come out here. Kyle's listening to this. So Kyle is under the impression that the owner has requested this protection.
How many?
We don't know.
It could be Milwaukee. I don't think it's Milwaukee. They're clearing them all out, just so you know. They said they have to go home or they're going to be arrested. They warned about 10 times and they might be actually pulling in. So, yeah, there's probably less than about 300 people. Oh, I'm fine. It's not that bad.
By the way, you may be wondering, is this footage relevant to the case? Yes, the prosecution has maintained this huge deal about Kyle's state of mind. His state of mind here is rather pleasant. He's agreeable, he's polite, he seems like he's in a good mood. Hardly the kind of person out looking for a fight. Okay, so let's skip ahead a little bit here. This takes place a relatively few minutes later.
And the police are trying to send everyone home. How you guys doing? We're live, got the rundown live.
Again, listen in on Kyle's demeanor.
And as you can see, they're... Do you have a good angle?
Again, laughing, polite, he's in a good mood. He does not think anything bad is going to happen. He's doing his job, he's getting some notoriety out of it. This is a perfect evening so far for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, very cool. And you guys local or no? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'm Kyle, by the way. I don't know if you want to shake
No, we'll do this.
coronavirus.
Oh, dude, I'm not afraid of no coronavirus. In fact, my shirt underneath it says I survived the coronavirus.
Now take a look at Kyle's expression. Does this look like a madman?
There you go. Yeah, it's very possible. Was that? Oh, bro. Believe it or not, I've been doing this for about 12 years, so 41. And, you know, if you guys see me get hit with something, I'm knocked out, that's when I need help. Or if it looks like somebody's going to beat me at the club, then I need help. Other than that, I can... non-aggression principle.
Okay, so he's talking about, hey, if I'm going to get hurt, I need some help, dive in. Kyle's all for that. Oh, absolutely. Again, part of it is that he's wanting to guard property. Part of it, he wants to help people medically.
You know, I don't want anyone hurt. They have medics too, and their medics are pretty helpful, even though they might be on the other side, if that makes sense. But they'll help me, okay?
We got medics too.
Okay, cool.
A lot of medical talk. Okay, again, Kyle went there to guard private property and to deliver medical aid. He's already talking about delivering medical aid to this guy here, so it's on his mind. Those of you who think that he was there simply to pose as a medic but not really help people, he was out there to hurt people, we're going to have a hard time explaining this. Why is he talking about medical aid so much?
So, do you guys mind? Is there a way up on the roof? Okay, no, that's fair. I thought I'd ask and make for some cool footage. But we got militia members.
Okay, so we're going to skip ahead. There is a garbage can, big heavy dumpster actually, in the middle of the street. Doesn't belong there. Look what Kyle does.
Understand. Hey, your job isn't to be in the street. You gotta stay on your property. That's why you got problems already with people.
So Kyle goes out into the street and pulls the dumpster out of the way. Mr. Law and Order. The dumpster doesn't belong there. He's doing what a citizen should do, right? If you see something out in the middle of the street, you're going to go in, if you're a good citizen, and get it out of there, right? And he gets admonished for it.
No one bothering your property. Don't look for trouble where there ain't none. A medic?
I am a medic.
I know you are, but like, they got their own medics. You know, if somebody close by, take care of them. I know you're just trying to make peace.
So Kyle got admonished. He's going to walk up to the guy and try to explain himself. And he's a little bit embarrassed, I think, over having been chewed out.
I get that, but they don't look at it that way. They look at you guys as it's a different. It's as much as you guys were afraid of them before they marched down here. I know, but like what a conversation you're having.
The reporter says, "Hey, you don't understand how you're being perceived," and that's kind of important. Kyle is thinking he's doing the right thing. He's only protecting private property, and he doesn't understand why everybody would be hostile to that.
Laser pointers either. No laser pointers. They think that's guns too.
Now, a lot of people have wondered, why did Kyle follow Ryan Balch around so much? It's not hard to understand at all. Kyle's best friend is Dominic, but Dominic was only 18 years old. This dude's a lot older. He's a seasoned combat veteran, and he's pretty good size. And so Kyle wants to associate himself with that kind of thing. It's part image. And so he's going to latch on to Ryan Balch and basically walk around with him all night. Ryan's fine with it. He's under the impression that Kyle is 18. And of course, why is he under that impression? Kyle told him he was 18. Of course, Kyle lied. And a lot of people have been criticizing Kyle for doing that. However, Kyle is doing what any 17-year-old would do. He's got a rifle. And in Wisconsin, most people probably believe that you can't be 17 and walk around with an AR-15, despite what the nuances of the law might suggest. So Kyle kind of does think that he's breaking the law a little bit here. Of course, in his mind, this is just a little tiny peccadillo. It's not even worth worrying about. But he also knows that Ryan Balch will send him home if he tells him he's only 17. Ryan's going to tell him, hey, well, you can't have that rifle. Remember, Ryan Balch is all about law and order in a way too, but a military version of it. He doesn't like the police, but he's not going to allow a 17-year-old to carry a rifle around. And therefore, Kyle is going to lie to him because he doesn't want to have to go home. Any 17-year-old would do the same thing. They would absolutely lie to Ryan Balch. By the way, Kyle is under no obligation to be truthful to Ryan Balch. Ryan is not a police officer. Kyle can lie to him all night. But whatever the case, Kyle's lies are perfectly understandable if you consider the fact that he's 17 years old. And at 17, I would have lied too. Because being sent home would be truly embarrassing.
That's what started most of it. Now we're all the way back by the gas station again.
Hey, thank you guys. Need water?
By the way, Animals Kendry, he's claiming that I didn't give these guys any permission to be at the property, yet they seem to have access to the inside of the building. Gee, I wonder how that happened.
Guys, far right, we need water. We need water. We'll throw you one. Thank you.
Alright, come on guys, let's get out of here.
Now, here's another thing that Kyle has been looking forward to, interacting with the police. He likes the police. He's wanted to be a police officer, and there's nothing wrong with that. He likes law and order, he likes helping the community, and being a policeman would be a perfect job for him, at least in his mind. And now here's an opportunity to interact with the police and request water from them. Now, you may be wondering, why did the police give them water? There are two theories. One, Hey, we appreciate you guys. The other one is that their tear gas came back and blew onto the Patriots and caused them problems, and they feel bad about it, so they're going to give them water to flush out the eyes. Whatever.
You're all
Great, let's go get some for a couple. Thank you. Yes, you. You are a civilian. This area is closed to them. You're trespassing. Leave. Leave now. We got a couple. We got to save a couple, but we'll give you a couple. We appreciate you guys. We really do.
We appreciate you guys. We really do. What do you think that does for Kyle Rittenhouse? He's always wanted to be a police officer. He wants to feel that he's doing the right thing by being out there. He wants to feel that he's helping people, and he wants recognition for it. And here's a police officer telling him, we appreciate you guys. You really do. That had to make his chest swell with pride. Again, he's 17 years old. And too many of you have been trying to gauge him from the perspective of a 40-year-old. He's a teenager. Okay, this is a very much televised interaction with Kyle Rittenhouse. Look at his demeanor. Is this the demeanor of someone out there looking to start trouble?
Doing out here, obviously you're armed and you're in front of this business we saw burning last night, so what's up?
So people are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle.
That's why I have my rifle. I'm running into harm's way. He's telling a videographer about the heroism that he could be doing here in the future if things go bad. Okay, again, this is all about persona. The persona he is building is that of one of the heroes, the first responders that have been given so much praise in the press, and he is basically casting himself into that role. But again, he's 17, he's just a teenager. And he thinks he's doing the right thing. Nothing about his demeanor here indicates that he has anything evil planned for the evening.
I need to protect myself, obviously. But I also have my med kit.
And he points out his med kit.
There's some other people who are armed as well.
Protect me.
Gotcha. And then what about these guys up on the roof?
Their job is to provide overwatch and protect me also.
Gotcha.
They're protecting everybody on the run, protecting each other.
Understood.
We're running medical, and we're going in, and we're getting injured.
And what about, are you from the area?
I am from the area.
What brought you out here tonight? You just wanted to provide medical attention?
Provide medical attention to people that need it. If somebody's injured, like, you get hurt, I'm grabbing you.
Does that sound like a madman? If you get hurt, I'm grabbing you, pulling you to safety. And he tells you why he's there. People are getting injured. I got my med kit. I'm out here to help people. He's telling this to a videographer. He wants the videographer to capture his statements. He wants a little bit of recognition for all the good deeds that he's going to do that night.
Have you encountered any issues yet thus far with law enforcement or anything like that?
So we went to the church and we de-escalated the situation, telling them they need to leave or they will be detained and later arrested.
This church right over here.
And we stopped the fire out all the way down at the steel.
Wow.
So Kyle regales the reporter with a story about he went in there and helped mitigate what could have been disastrous, and that was a church fire. Is he exaggerating his role? Maybe. I think most 17-year-olds would. But whatever the case, he feels that telling his story about how he helped stop a church from being burned is going to appeal to his friends, the people that are going to watch this. The community volunteer doing good, risking his own life to go and help people and even put out church fires. This is so far working out to be a splendid evening for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Do you think it would have been different if the police had to try to stop them from setting the fire?
I feel like there would be a lot more casualties and a lot more people injured. So I think the police are fine where they're at. And like us running the medical because EMS is not coming in. This is they are not coming in.
Yeah.
So us citizens, we need to watch out for each other. Me and him are out here running and saying people need medical attention. But
He says, me and him. He points towards Ryan Balch. Again, he wants to be associated with Ryan, a combat veteran. So, again, teenager, that's what they do. Now, he makes another interesting point. EMS is not coming out here, but I'm here. I'm braver than those dudes. And he's kind of right. EMS is not there. EMS is not going to go into the scene until it's all secured and nice, safety. But Kyle, he's going to. Damn it. The fact that there is some carnage around and people may be mean and maybe even violent is not going to stop him from helping the community. So he's sort of extolling the virtues of his courage here. But again, he's young.
Speaking of which, we need to go check to see if somebody got hurt again. All right.
Understood.
Okay, so Ryan Balch comes to him and says, hey, we got to go and see if there's anybody else hurt. So in other words, get your med kit. We're going to go out and start helping people medically. Kyle's all for that. Now watch what he says to the videographer.
follows your fine.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
He invites the videographer to come along. Of course, he wants to help people and he wants it to be captured. All right, Kyle's walking down the street and he's calling out medical. And he's just really hoping that somebody's hurt. I know that sounds kind of cruel, but he is. He's hoping that there's somebody hurt so that he can pull out his bandages, fix the person up, have the person say, oh, thank you, thank you. Boy, that would make Kyle feel great. And, of course, there's a videographer behind him capturing the whole thing. Kyle feels that his recognition could be national at some point. What a great guy this Kyle Rittenhouse is. Young kid, 17, out there braving the people and the violence and stuff, and he's helping people medically. This is the kind of EMS that we need in our country. That's what he's thinking is going to happen. He's going to get notoriety, but for the wrong reasons. Now, watch what happens when he's accosted by a few locals. Now, Kyle says, hey, do you guys need medical? Because he hears these guys jawing off at him. It seems to me that Kyle doesn't know who these guys are. Could be wrong. But they seem to think that they know who he is. So there's the confrontation that he's been craving according to all his detractors. Somebody can get in his face where he can use his rifle. He doesn't. He walks away. It appears to me that these guys have mistook Kyle for the other guy. And you hear in the voice in the background right afterwards from someone saying, that's not him. In other words, the guy that you think was threatening you with the rifle was somebody else.
What, yesterday or today?
Today. Dude, he just had up the gun. Talking about get off the car. Now he's talking about metal.
What car? Over in the dealership? Sorry, I don't know.
Hold on. So it's locked out too,
Okay, in one of my other videos, I play this thing here, and you can hear the female voice say, that wasn't him. So it seems to me that the dude in the yellow pants has mistook Kyle for somebody else. Or maybe not. It's hard to say. But it certainly doesn't seem like Kyle's out looking for a confrontation. Okay, so at this point, Kyle somehow got separated from Ryan Balch. In one of my other videos, I show you the time in which that happened. Ryan Balch crosses the street. Kyle is distracted. He turns around and Ryan's gone. It wasn't intentional, and it happens very easily. But he's been walking around looking for people to help. Nobody seems to need his help, and so he's getting, I think, a little bit discouraged. So he's going to walk around calling out for medical. You know, most people would say, well, that's good that nobody needs it, right? That means nobody's hurt. But Kyle, again, wants wants somebody to be there that he can help. Still calling out medical. At this point, I think he's calling it a night. He's gone out. He's looking for people that need medical. Nobody needs it. He can't guard any property anymore because that property has now come under police control. He kind of feels at this point that his duties are no longer appreciated or needed. And what's the point? And so at this time, he's going to try to go back to the garage, probably get together with Dominic, get in the car, and go home. There's only one small problem. Does anybody need medical? He's not going to get behind the police barricade. And so he turns to somebody, do you need medical? And Kyle, you know, is thinking, oh, come on, please need medical. Give me something to do here. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Okay, I work at that business. I am at that business, sir.
Back that way for my people, man. For my people.
Kyle has no choice now but to go back into the crowd. A lot of people say that Kyle went into the crowd willingly. That's false. Actually, he was trying to get out of there. The police wouldn't let him. And that was a fatal mistake on the police's part. I understand why they did it, but it unfortunately was tragic. If they had allowed him to go back to the garage, nobody would have been hurt that night. So at this point, Kyle doesn't really quite know what to do. He's going to walk back into this area, and sooner or later, he's going to meet up with Joseph Rosenbaum, who's going to attack him. Notice that nobody is scared of him. He's walking around, people are just kind of looking at him. The idea that he went around and terrified people with his rifle is ridiculous. In fact, nobody there that night appeared to have been terrified by Kyle and his rifle. All right, this will be the last clip we show. Kyle has a reprieve. Somebody has called in and said that there is something on fire. A car, a dumpster, it's not clear. Now Kyle can spring into action and do something. So he runs by with his fire extinguisher. He's going to put out a fire, and hopefully that will sort of settle his need to have done something good for that night.
Already trying to, but let's check it out, right? Oh gosh, I'm not gonna.
I won't play any more because it's all in dispute as to what took place, and it's all a little bit blurry. A lot of people disagree on what happened. Some will say, and I think Binger has said, that Kyle was chasing Rosenbaum. Seems unlikely, but I'd have to wait for the video to come out to be sure. So, in summary, we have a kid who, because of his upbringing, has a need to do community volunteer work. He wants some recognition for it. And here's an exciting event where he can do that. He goes to the event fully prepared to help out, but he spends most of the evening looking for people to help, and nobody needs it. He gets tired, he wants to go home, and he can't. The police won't let him. Finally, something comes through. There's something on fire. He grabs a fire extinguisher and runs towards it. And that's when all hell breaks loose. So I want to point out, nothing we have seen, nothing indicates that Kyle has any interest in hurting people. Quite the contrary. He wants to help people, and he wants a little bit of recognition for it, and nothing would have come of it if it hadn't been for a single, solitary lunatic by the name of Joseph Rosenbaum. In my next installment, I'm going to talk about Pudgies. Why was Kyle there? Why did he do this? Why did he wear his shirt? So stay tuned. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.